I do want to make it 1,000% clear. But I want to go to 2,000% or 100,000, whatever percent you want to use. Bill Belichick never asked for, in our discussions, full control of personnel or the building or anything of that nature. He was very inclusive, very collaborative. He met Terry Fontenot. He checked out our people doing his own references. He sent me a private text, which I eventually shared with Terry, that he was happy working with him. So all these, I don't know whatever you want to call them, I want to be kind to the media, but all of these
thank you
things that were being produced by the media were totally not true. I don't say it to patronize Bill, but to be fair to him. I mean, he never had that as a requirement. I mean, he's got his history, he has a way of doing things, et cetera, which have been very, very successful. Now, you could debate, is that true the last 4 years or so? It might be a little different picture, but, there's a lot of stories behind a lot of things. So I think it was a very good series of interviews with him. Our folks were impressed with him. I was impressed with him, as were a number of the candidates. And we just felt, all things considered, for a variety of reasons, that Raheem Morris was clearly the best choice for us.
Look, what else is Arthur Blank going to say? We really wanted Bill Belichick, but we just couldn't work it out, so we settled for Raheem Morris. No one's going to say that. No one in their right mind is going to say it. And to the extent that there were media misperceptions, if that's what he believed, that's when you activate your PR staff to push back against them in real time. That's what PR does. You don't just sit around waiting for the house to be on fire and try to put it out. You actively communicate to people in the media what you are doing. You don't wait for some misperception, if you believe it's a misperception, to get hardened in stone. And when you interview the guy and you tell the world you've interviewed the guy, you create expectations. So you better be pushing back. Hey, we're bringing in Bill, but we got a lot of other candidates. He is not the front runner. Do not believe what you're hearing. If people are telling you he's the front runner, he's not the front runner. Now, if you ask that question, you would get that answer, but they were not aggressively putting it out there. You got to realize, if you don't aggressively put that out there, people are going to believe he was the front runner. People are going to believe that's who they wanted. And I've heard Blank wanted him. And I don't think it takes a very high IQ, which qualifies me to comment on this, to realize that the structure in the organization was not going to work with Bill Belichick.
Right.
And he didn't have to say, I want full control.
Exactly.
All he had to say is,
right,
I don't want to work with Rich McKay.
Right.
Because he didn't want to work with Rich McKay.
Right. I mean, it's like, yeah, exactly what you just said. Duh. I mean, that's the word on the street. I mean, of course, that's what everybody in football thinks. Talk to anybody. It's not that, Arthur Blank, it's not that we wanted Belichick. He wanted Belichick, maybe. All right? And I don't know about that personal aspect. I know you've heard some things and whatever else. But either way, from everything I've heard from people around the league, yeah. I mean, Terry Fontenot, McKay, why would they want Bill Belichick there? Why? I mean, do you think they were like, hey, Arthur, let's hire Bill so I have no part in the organization and really my job's kind of done, right? Oh, yeah, please, Bill, do that. Oh, I want to be the GM for Bill. So, wait, I could recommend a player, and Bill's going to go, no, I don't want that effing guy. I want this guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm the GM, right? I mean, what is everybody, like, stupid? Of course not. They were like, oh, I don't think you should do that. It's only going to be 2 years. He's going to want to control everything. Then you have to get back. I'm sure they made all their selling points, let alone we know it was risky anyways. Right? I mean, he is an older coach. There is fair to question the last 4 years, definitely. And then it's fair to question, is he going to leave you at the altar in 2 years anyways? They got a guy they know. They got a guy that's young, energetic, can get them out of the doldrums of where they are right now. He is African-American. We know that is a highly populated African-American city. It makes a lot of sense. I totally agree with the Raheem Morris hiring and can understand why the Falcons' other top people in their organization didn't want Belichick there.
This is ultimately the reason why I believe Bill Belichick only had one interview, because you have to understand going in, when you talk to Bill Belichick, it is going to create an expectation that he's going to be the coach. It creates a media problem. It creates a PR challenge.
Right.
And I don't think the Falcons handled it very well. Unless they wanted Belichick and they were willing to deal with the PR crap on the back end like Arthur Blank is doing now. blaming it on the media. It's always our fault. It's not that they wanted him and they just couldn't work it out and then they pivoted to their next choice. No, it's not that. It's, well, the media was full of crap. We never wanted him. Well, you brought him in. And see, when you bring him in for an interview, that's why I said there were multiple teams that were thinking about pursuing him. But you have to be sure if you go that direction that you're going to see it through to the end, because you can't just start down the Bill Belichick path and turn around and walk away and expect everyone to think that the guy you hire, if it's not Bill Belichick, was your first choice all along. Why are you talking to Bill Belichick if the guy you hired was your first choice all along? That's what Arthur Blank is trying to clean up, because, I mean, Arthur Blank, everywhere I look now, Arthur Blank's talking here, he's talking there, he's talking there, he's talking there. I think he's recognizing they didn't do a very good job of talking down this notion that Bill Belichick was their preferred candidate. And early in the process, my understanding is Belichick is the guy that Blank wanted. And yeah, I think Rich McKay talked him out of it. And it's not to say they're going to fail with Raheem Morris. It may go perfectly well, unlike today's show.
Yeah, this is different. Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead. My bad. I was just saying, this is different.
Go ahead.
Different. It's different than like Dan Quinn and we wanted two guys who haven't been a head coach, and then you were the third option. I mean, I don't think anybody like around football or in Atlanta is like, oh,
this might be better.
Man, exactly.
This might be better.
They really wanted Belichick and we got stuck with Raheem. It's a little different thing. I think everybody with a brain or common sense is going to go,
great point.
Well, hey, I mean, of course we talked to Belichick. I mean, we'd be stupid if we didn't. So, don't clean up too much is what I'm saying, Arthur Blank. Nobody's looking at you going, you're wrong to want Bill Belichick or dive into that subject. I mean, that's what a smart man would do.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the guy who should be doing all this media right now is Josh Harris, telling people, or at least trying to convince them, that Dan Quinn was the guy they wanted all along. That's a great point, because I think if you're a Falcons fan, you can look at it and say, okay, I understand why they were a little smitten with Belichick, but we got a guy that could end up being pretty damn good for 10, 15 years as a head coach.
Exactly.
And that's longer than Belichick was ever going to be there. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.